Good morning, dear children. Let us start our today's class with a prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Dear children, you are going to see the first lesson, chemistry, in 8th standard. The name of the lesson is Matter Around Us. By learning this lesson, you come to know about the types of matter and the symbol of various elements, and you can easily classify these elements into metals, non-metals and metalloids. And also you will be able to compare the properties of metals and non-metals and their uses also. And also you acquire the knowledge about compounds of solid, liquid and gases, and you come to know the uses of compounds in your everyday life. Let's enter into today's lesson. You see beautiful world around you, how the world is evolved. It is a part of universe, and the evolution of life and the evolution of universe itself caused by only matter and energy. There is a theory called Big Bang theory, which states that a huge amount of energy is big banged and produces the universe which we see nowadays. So the thing around us is completely comprised of matter and energy. All the objects around us have some kind of matter. For example, you may feel the cool breeze. You may smell the fragrance of a flower. You can feel the touch, sight, hearing, taste, smell. All these things is due to the matter. You may not be able to see the air, but you can experience, you can feel. Also, you cannot see the form of sound wave, but you can hear it. So it also made up of matter. What do you mean by matter? Two important properties of matter are there. One is the matter have some mass. Another thing, it occupies space. These are all the two important things. One is it has mass and it occupies space. These are the two important things. So, how can we define matter? Matter can be defined as anything which has definite mass and occupying space. I repeat, definition of matter is matter can be defined as anything which has definite mass and occupies space. It should have mass and also it should occupy a space. Space means it need not to be macroscopic level, it also be in microscopic level. Up to nanometers, micrometer thickness, it occupies space. So you should not, when you learn science, you should not think only macroscopic object. You also come across the microscopic objects, and you should imagine about the microscopic levels. You try to imagine that, it will be very easy for you if you practice that. Also, matters can exist in all the three forms. You know the three forms: solid, liquids and gases. Example for solids are wood, stone, sand, iron and iron. An example for liquid matters are water, milk, fruit juice, oil, etc. And gases, as you know, oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, steam, etc. These are all the form of matters. So matter in any physical state is composed of smaller particles such as atoms, molecules and ions. So these are all the basic things. First, what is an atom? So an atom is the smallest particle of element which exhibits all the properties of that element. So element is nothing but, for example, iron is an element. So it is made up of completely iron atom. So atom is the smallest particle of an element. The property of the element is only due to the atoms which it possesses. Okay. Then atoms of same element or different element combines to form a molecule. This is the definition for molecule. So now we are learning the definition for atom, molecule and ion. First we have seen what is atom. Now we are seeing what is molecule. What are molecules? Atoms of the same elements or different elements combine to form a molecule. For example, water. H2O is the formula for water. So it made up of different elements. Yes, 2 hydrogen atom, 1 oxygen atom. It may be made up of different atoms, different elements to form a molecule. It may be also same element. For example, hydrogen molecule. 2 hydrogen atoms combine together to form hydrogen molecule. I repeat, 2 hydrogen atoms combine together to form hydrogen molecule. So, a molecule can be formed by same elements or also different elements. Okay. Now what are ions? Atoms, excuse me please. Atoms or groups of atoms having a charge are called ions. These things you might have been come across in your 12th standard, so I don't want to explain or spend much time in explaining your ion. It may be positive or it may be negatively charged. If it gains some electrons means it is negatively charged. If it loses its electron means it is positively charged. So atom or group of atom having a charge, it may be positive charge or negative charge, is called ion. I will teach you in your 12th lesson. Okay, don't bother about this now. So these are all the 3 basic form of matter, that is solid, liquid, gases, are the 3 basic form of matter in your day-to-day life you have seen. Okay, there are 4th matter is also there. It is known as plasma. You need not to know about it in this 8th standard. In your higher education you may come across this plasma. Okay, now let's know what are elements. Elements are everywhere. They are the building blocks of everything on earth. So they are the building blocks of everything on earth. Building blocks are elements. Pencils, desk, mountain, car, book, etc. We can see these kind of things. These are all solids. We are breathing air. We are inhaling oxygen, exhaling carbon dioxide. All things are elements. So, an element is a pure substance that cannot be broken down by chemical methods into simpler compounds. This is the definition for element. An element is a pure substance that cannot be broken down by chemical methods into simpler compounds. So, for example, gold. Gold cannot be broken down into any other than gold. If I broke gold piece, it will become gold molecule. If I further broke them, it will become gold atom. So, I cannot break this element in chemical method. That is the main point, keyword here, chemical method into simpler components. There is possibility. This is extra point I am giving now. There is possibility to break this element into various pieces in physical method. For example, atomic fission reaction. This fission reaction, we can split a heavier atom into 2 simpler atom of different element. For example, uranium atom is split into krypton and barium using atomic fission reaction. That method is physical method. So, in chemical method, an element cannot be broken into simpler method. That is the basic thing. Okay, that is the basic definition of element. An element is a pure substance that cannot be broken down by chemical methods into simpler components. Okay, element consists of only one type of atom. Element consists of only one type of atom. An atom is the simplest particle of an element that still has the same property of the element. So what next? All atoms of a specific element have exactly the same chemical makeup, size and mass. So each atom has an atomic number which represents the number of protons that are in the nucleus of a single atom of that element. So, totally there are 118 elements so far we have found in the world. 118 elements. Few are naturally available in earth and few are formed in laboratory by scientists. So, totally there are 118 elements. Let's know about the symbols of elements. Throughout the world, throughout our life, the symbols make our life very easy and perfect and approachable. So, in science also, we follow various symbols. For example, we have dove, pigeon, as a symbol of peace. Yes. Also, for traffic rules, we are following various symbols. Also in mathematics we have some operations, plus symbol for addition, minus symbol for subtraction, etc. So symbols invariably we use throughout our life. In chemistry also we use various symbols to denote these elements, because there are various number of, that is 180 number of elements. So it is easy, it makes us easy to follow symbols to represent elements. So there are different, now we are going to see the history of these elements. First, Greek symbol. Greek symbol, very very simple symbol. We are not following this Greek symbol nowadays, but it is essential to know the history of the symbolic representations of elements. So first we learn Greek symbol. What is Greek symbol? See this Greek symbol. Geometrical shapes we use for this ancient Greek symbol to represent the four basic elements around us, so, such as earth, air, fire and water. See this air, at the top they have the division, this kind of division at the top, yes, and this is fire, inverted rectangle, the triangle, this is water, and earth at the bottom they have, and the in between region between water and air the condition will be moist, between air and fire the condition will be, atmosphere will be warm, between fire and earth the atmosphere will be dry like a desert, between earth and water the atmosphere will be cold. So this is the basic symbol which is used in Greek period. Now, alchemist symbol, you might have come across the word alchemist. What do you mean by alchemist? That is a era, scientific era known as alchemist era. These people, alchemists, what they have a passion is, they try to convert the possible metals into gold. Those who are in that job, in that activity are called as alchemist. So different materials that people used were represented by different symbols while they try to change less valuable metal into gold. That much passion towards gold. They try to change less valuable metals into gold. This process is known as alchemy, and the man who did this work were known as alchemist. So the process of converting less valuable metal into gold is known as alchemy, and the men who did this work were known as alchemist. So these are all the basic symbols. Nickel is represented in this way. Arsenic, next one is arsenic. Next antimony, then water. So these are the basic symbols followed by the alchemists. Next, Dalton symbol. It is very difficult and critical. We are not following this, as we are learning the history of the symbols of elements. It is also taking its part. In 1808, John Dalton, English scientist, tried to name various elements based on pictorial symbols. Those symbols are difficult to draw and hence they are not used. It is only have historical importance. See how difficult it is to represent. Nowadays we are using very very simple and beautiful method to denote the elements. Next we are going to see Berzelius symbol. In 1813, John Jacob Berzelius devised a system using letters of alphabets rather than signs. The modified version of Berzelius system followed under the Heading System for determining symbols of the elements. System for determining symbols of the elements. Now, let's know the present system for determining symbols of the elements. We are going to know the present system because we are using this only nowadays. So, it is very essential to be clear with this concept. Present symbol system. Okay. First one, the symbols of the most common element, mainly non-metals, use the first letter of their English name. So, see this: boron, carbon, fluorine, hydrogen, iodine, nitrogen. These are all non-metals. They are not metals. These are all non-metals. What are metals and non-metals? We are going to learn it later. Okay. Now let's learn the symbols. So the element's name, the symbol is given the first letter of the English name. Boron starts with B, so its symbol is B. Carbon starts with C, its symbol is capital C. Fluorine, capital F. Hydrogen, capital H. Iodine, capital I. Nitrogen, capital N. Similarly, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur, vanadium, uranium, yttrium. So their symbols are O, P, S, B, U, Y respectively. So this is the symbols used for non-metals. So these are all the examples for non-metals. The second point is, if two elements have the same first letter means the first and second letter of the name are used as symbols. The first letter is uppercase and the second letter is lowercase. See here in aluminium, Al. For aluminium, they have used Al as the symbol. Al, aluminium. Okay. See the barium and beryllium. Both bismuth, bromine, all the four elements have the same starting letter B. So to avoid confusion, they include the second letter A, E, I, R. But it should be in small. The first letter should be in caps and the second letter should be in the small form. So barium Ba is the symbol, beryllium Be is the symbol, bismuth Bi is the symbol, bromium Br is the symbol. Okay, cobalt. Previous we saw carbon, no, it starts with C. So to avoid the confusion with carbon and cobalt, the second letter O is represented in small way. Okay, small case, lower case. See this example, hydrogen and helium. So hydrogen starts with H and helium also starts with H. So to avoid near helium, they represent E, small e. Nickel, neon, Ni, Ne. Silicon, sulfur, Si. Okay. So these are all the representation for elements having the starting similar letters. Okay. And the third one, if the first two letters of the names of the elements are same, then the symbol consists of first letter and the second or third letter of English name that they do not have in common. So for example, the first letter and the second letter may be similar. Then what can we do for in that cases? See the example, argon and arsenic. See argon, Ar. Arsenic also Ar. So to avoid confusion, argon they have put the symbol as Ar, and for arsenic the third letter S. S. Okay. ARS they have to write. So, but to avoid the confusion, first and third letter. Okay. See this, chlorine and chromium. CH. Yes. Chlorine and chromium, CH. So to avoid, Cl, Cr. So Cl, Cr is the symbol for chlorine and chromium respectively. Similarly, calcium and cadmium, Ca are the starting letters. So to avoid, Ca and Cd for calcium and cadmium. Similarly, magnesium and manganese, Ma are the first two letters. So to avoid, Mg and Mn, first and third letter, Mg, Mn. Okay. What is the fourth point? Some symbols are used on the basis of their Greek name or Latin name of the element. So there are 11 such elements. So far we have seen English names. These are all the 11 elements which have their Greek name or Latin name. Sodium, Latin name is natrium. Potassium, kalium. Ion, ferrium, so that Fe, ferrium, so Fe, ferrium, F.